Welcome. This is Just Being Real with Houston. So today I have a gentleman that I believe it's probably been about a year or so that I've met him through networking, which is great. And I've got to hear his testimonies and reviews with clients and how he's helped these people. And so it's an honor to have him on to be able to tell you who he is and his struggles and where he plans to be in his journey. So with all due, Bob with Locksmith Citrus Florida. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Appreciate
It is an honor because this is exciting because this man right here, just to talk to him off camera, unbelievable. The thing that God is doing is awesome to see stuff happen. So what's going on? Let's.
Well, my name is Bob Bruner. I own a company, Locksmith Citrus Florida, as Houston was saying here, and I've been in business for 13 years. I started a company called West Florida Locks in Tampa, still going today, and my wife and I 7 months ago moved up here. We are permanent residents of Citrus County, and this is where we want to be. We want to stay planted here. I just turned 71 in January. Thank God for that, and January 1st. And so this is, as they say, Custer's last stand. This is where I'm going to be. This is where I want to be, right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we're actually at his house, so
Yes.
it's beautiful here. It's a beautiful day. So what's some problems that you come across in Locksmith?
Geez, where do you start? The biggest issue that I have is, believe it or not, is getting the consumer to understand what they have, what they need to have, and where they find that happy medium. Because we're out here making a living. There's a cost to things, so we try to teach people, and sometimes they don't want to know. Sometimes I bring them in the back of my van. I show them what I do. Some love it. Others say, "Bob, I don't care. We trust you. You're the expert." I said, "Don't use that word. Expert is a very high up name."
I think we all strive for that.
Yeah. So that's one issue, and then the second issue goes along with the marketing, kind of, what every business owner has to do, dealing with Google and all the issues with Google and trying to become relevant and trying to balance. When you're a single operator like me, you have to balance getting out Facebook and all the social media and doing networking and posting, and then actually doing the work. And then that's part of it. Then you have to come home. You got a wife, you got kids, you got a dog, you got goldfish, whatever. So it's balancing things out, and it's tough because you have to learn all that, and if you don't learn it, then you got to hire somebody to do it for you, and that can get expensive. So you try to balance that out as well. So those are the biggest issues that Locksmith have. And there's many other subcategories, but those are the major ones, dealing with those issues as a business owner.
That sounds like my next question, going into the journey of what was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like, did you just happen to fall into Locksmith? Was it planned?
That's a great question. I operated a company in Tampa Bay called Dirt Cheap Sod. Grass. The legal grass, okay? Laying sod, delivering sod, installing sod, some irrigation, some landscaping, but mostly just the sod part. And I did that for 21 years. Well, one day I was told that the sod field, which was owned by Mosaic, which Mosaic is huge, right? And they dig the ground up, they get the phosphate, and they make batteries and fertilizer. Well, they were in Manatee County. Mountain Kiss says, "No more. We're not renewing your permits." So those 2,000 plus acres of sod in Waimama and Fort Lonesome. Now there's a reason folks they call it Fort Lonesome, because there ain't nothing there. Cattle and tumbleweeds. And so they took that over. So Duda, which is a huge sod company, they own fruit and cattle all over the state of Florida, said they were going south. And that meant more fuel, more maintenance, more everything. And then my insurance went from $1,200 a year to $6,600 a year. Wow. So I put my head down and said, oh, okay, God, I'm 57. What am I going to do? So I ended up hearing like an audible voice. It was the Lord speaking to me, the bottom line. He said, you always wanted to be a locksmith. And I said, where did that come from? Those magazines, you're looking back as a kid and you see that Foley retro, you too can be a locksmith. That was planted in my head since a kid. And God reminded me of it. So I went on my phone like everybody else. I pull up locksmith near me. I found the West Coast Florida Locksmith Association right there in Temple Terrace and started the first guy on the roster and called him and told him the same story I just told you.
Right.
He says, what do you want to do? I said, I want you to train me. He says, show up Monday. This guy's forgotten more than I've learned. He's like a longtime locksmith, and that's where it started. Then he introduced me a couple of locksmiths. I went to trade shows, hundreds and literally hundreds of hours of YouTube, learning how to be a locksmith, and of course the practical application of going out and being a locksmith.
Right.
Because you can learn all you want, but till you touch that door,
The sell of it.
yeah,
Like how everybody can learn how to do stuff,
yeah,
but it's the selling part of it.
yeah.
I can know how to paint all day. I can know how to do this, but if
Yeah.
I don't know how to sell that job,
Right.
I'm gonna go out of business.
Yeah. So what I decided to do with that part of it, once I have the knowledge, once you're confident in anything you do, you just go with it. You know,
Right.
I've never had a problem talking with people. I love people. So, yeah, you throw a little humor, a little dad joke, you know, people resonate to that. And
Right.
listen, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. If you don't have
Golden
those three
statement.
things, you're not going to go very far. So it takes a little while to build a trust because you're going from Bob, the sod guy, to now Bob, the locksmith. Bob, what do you know about locksmith? Well, I'm learning. But what I can tell you this is my heart's right. I'm going to do the right thing always. And, you know, you're going to be happy when I'm done. And so that's why I have good Google reviews. That's why I have realtors on board that won't use nothing but me. It's just a process. It's nothing that you're going to do overnight. It takes time.
Now let me ask you. This is just because of I listen to a lot of true crime, and scams of being people taken advantage of. Is there that fear that a homeowner would have that if a locksmith comes to my house to change the locks,
Yeah.
are they going to keep a key to my house? Are they going to have access still to my house?
I have a lot of people ask me that.
Yeah,
You see,
I would.
and
think
I
it'd be a
answer like
natural-
this. I said, I don't need your key to get into your house. I'm a locksmith. And they go, oh yeah, that's right. So that comes back to the trust. So we back that up with not just saying it with our lips, we're background checked with the FBI. We're on a federal register, not in a bad way. So I'm fingerprinted. So if I ever get arrested or get turned in, if I do something I'm not supposed to do, which I never do, because that's what integrity is. You do things that, you know, the right way. And not only my fingerprint and background check, I have general liability policy. I have all the credentials that allow me to go out there and say, hey, you don't have to worry about me. I'm the least of your worries. You got more problems with the locks. And so I put them to rest. I says, I don't need your key. You know, I'm a locksmith. And they get it. All of a sudden it resonates to them. This guy can break in my house whether I give him the key or not.
But I would think it would be faster if you had the key.
Yeah, of course.
Instead of trying to pick the lock.
And then the last thing I tell them is, I said, I'll never, ever enter your property, whether residential or commercial, unless you bring me here. Your cousin from New York can call me, says, hey, I need to get an Uncle Joey shop. No, it's not going to, Uncle Joey doesn't tell me, you don't get in. So it's
Now,
yeah.
what are the qualifications then? The statute, because I never knew that you had to be fingerprinted. I mean, it makes sense.
You don't have to, but I did that because the city of Tampa and Hillsborough County had an ordinance where they had to be fingerprinted and background checked. And so I did that because they forced us to do it, but it didn't make me any more honest because you're either honest or not. And so there's in the state of Florida, there's no license requirement. Now there are states in the U.S. that require a class and a licensing, but honestly, you know, I learned from some of the best. And if you're a good person and you do what's right, always put the customer first. You don't ever have to worry about those other things. Those are there to give people comfort, and it's nice to know that your fingerprint and background check.
That extra
But,
security.
yeah, it's the extra security. But, you know, does your words line up with what you're doing? So when they understand that and they get that, and they got people saying Google reviews. One lady was calling me from Mississippi. She's a realtor. She has 3 houses, one in Michigan, one in Mississippi, and one right here in Homosassa. She wanted to know where you bonded. I said, no, I've never been asked about that. I said, bonded is when you go to jail and you got to get out. She started laughing. I said, but all jokes aside, I told her I had the background check, the fingerprint. I said, check one of my Google reviews.
Right.
You know, I got 180 some Google reviews. How do you get that if you're legit? If you're a
that's
corporation
hard.
in the state of Florida, you can still do bad things.
Right.
But what I'm saying to you is these things have to line up. So I said, read this review. This is a realtor that's used me for 13 years. You don't fool realtors. They're pretty strict and they hold you to the candle. Look what this lady said about me, her and her husband. Used me for 13 years. And she said, okay, Bob, I'm convinced. So 99% of the people don't say that, but it's just nice to show that if they want to see it.
Then that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Trying to build trust and get, because like we were talking about before, you don't know somebody in a short amount of time.
Right.
You, like the networking groups, you got 30 seconds
Yeah.
to, if you're a presenter, you got 5 to 8 minutes on some of them.
Right.
That's not enough time to really get out there. We need sales. You need clients now. That's what businesses need.
Yeah.
Especially startups and young businesses.
Yeah.
You've been in Citrus, you said, for 7 months now.
Right.
So the business has been here 7 months, or you've always been doing work?
No, it
the whole
started.
state, I
It
believe.
started September 1st of 2025, and then you know I was still in Hillsborough County and Pasco County at that time running West Florida Locks, so I was going back and forth. So once we moved here,
Okay.
then I started saying, okay, I need to get the articles of corporation, I need to get this, I need to get an EIN number, separate account, everything separate. And then I started knocking on doors, is what I like doing. I like talking.
Do you really?
Oh, absolutely. Still do it today.
I got some roofing companies probably like to hear that.
Yeah. I go to Publix and my heart is for seniors and people that are, you know, single parents and stuff.
You could start your little side hustle teaching how to knock doors.
Yeah, well, it is.
It's a make or break kind of
It's
world.
a tough way to do it, but listen, they don't know you till they know you. So
Right.
you take the card out and you give them. You say, "Hey, this is what I say to them." I said, "Here's your get out of jail card," and they look at it and they start laughing. They said, "I could have used you last week." I said, "Well, now you got somebody's trusted." I said, "I live right here in Lecanto, Florida." I said, "I'm 2.5 miles from this Publix in Crystal River." I said, "You call me, I'll be there in no time. If it's a little further, it takes a little longer, but you got a trusted locksmith." So you just plant the seeds and then
Right.
you leave.
That's all door knocking should be.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't understand why companies try to get the sale at the door, like especially in roofing, at storm work, when you knock the door. These homeowners have had 15, 20 roofers knock their door,
Oh yeah,
and they try to sit there and hassle these guys. No, they just build that trust.
right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm not a big door knocker because especially here in Citrus,
It's tough.
it's horrible because people come in here and give it such a bad name.
Yeah.
I just want to go knock your door and say, hey, we're a business, such and such. If you want to support me, please, here you go. And leave. I'm not trying to sell anything to you. I just want to introduce who we are and give
You're
you a new
establishing
option.
a relationship.
Absolutely.
So when
That's
they
what door knocking should be.
Yeah. So when you come back in and say, "I remember you gave me a card last week. How you doing?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is everything okay? Yeah. Just talk to them. And listen, really what it comes down to, God's the one that directs the steps. He's the one that says, "Hey, you know, this is the guy. Use this guy. You remember him? He gave you a card, you know." And he reminds them, and then they call. You know,
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is amazing. So where do you see your business in 1 to 3 years?
Well, you know, that's an interesting question because, you know, I'm 71 years old. I turned 71 January 1st. I've been doing this 13 years. So God will dictate that where I go and how long I go. But right now I still have my health. I still have my eyes. I still can go out there and have the stamina to do what I do. So that's one of those things that you know when you know. Kind of like when the athlete is real good, like Tom Brady. Look at him. Look how long he went.
I know.
And eventually he said, "Hey, you know what?
And came back, right?
It's time for me to do something else." So I I don't know. We don't know what the world's doing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We don't know how much time we have on this earth. So tomorrow's promised to no one. So we just keep going. So in the meantime, I plan like I'm going to be here another 20 years. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'll just keep going until I can't go anymore. I'm like the Eveready battery. Keep putting batteries in, you know? Yeah, well, there's a lot of needs. I mean, all over. But there's definitely a lot of needs in Citrus County. And there's great organizations out there that have more resources, daycare, Daystar, and then what's the one?
Daystar, I see a
It's
lot
huge.
on Facebook that feeds. That
They
does a lot of
feed, they give
feeding.
away, they get them ready for job interviewing. They do a lot. And what's the other one? The resource
you?
center. So yeah, so there's plenty of opportunities to give. You know, a lot of homeless people out there. I like working with them. Look at Moses. God picked Moses, right? He couldn't even speak, didn't want to do it. Look what he did. So the 10 Commandments. I mean, come on. You know, God takes the undesirable and turns, you know, lemon to lemonade, if you want to use that as an analogy. And
That's a song now, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's a
True,
good
though.
deal.
It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see that things are gonna come together. God put me. This gets you to meet somebody new
Yes.
every single day,
Absolutely.
at least one.
Absolutely.
And now that's what it's about. It's about spreading the gospel, letting people know,
Yeah.
being a light, and sharing what God has done.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got a testimony.
Absolutely. We're known by our testimony.
Some just don't explain it, and
Well-
some should, but some aren't. But Bob,
That's how we're known.
let's. There was one thing that we were talking earlier, and you're like, "That's a great thing."
Yeah.
So, what is one thing a customer needs to know before hiring somebody in your industry?
Well, it's, you know, the biggest thing is, are they background checked? Are they fingerprinted? Okay. Are they established? Did they just start the business? Now, I'm not saying you can't hire somebody that just started, but you want somebody that's seasoned. You know, we've been in business 13 years, so we've established ourselves. I've got realtors that speak for me. I got people that have known me for a long time before I was a locksmith. So it really helps your credibility when somebody knows you. But when you go out and you do a job and they do a referral on Google, that's them putting a rubber stamp on you saying, I called this guy, I didn't know him. That's the underline, okay? But really what they're saying is, this guy came to my house and he did everything he said he's gonna do. His words lined up with his actions. And we trust him, and it was reasonable cost. And he's our go-to locksmith. When you see that, that turns people saying, okay, I called you because of the reviews. Now you have to perform. You go to the house with your, you know, one shoe is on crooked, and, you know, maybe you hadn't shaved in a while. I'm guilty of that sometimes, but, you know, really, the thing is, it's how you present yourself. Do they see that person that's looking them in the eye? Do they see the person that says, thank you for calling Locksmith Citrus Florida, how can I help you? Instead of yelling out, locksmith, because that's what a lot of locksmiths do. And it's abrasive. So it turns people off. This is talking about on the phone. When you stand at the door, little tip, stand 6 foot back. I'm 6'2". They don't want some Sasquatch guy in their face, you know. Back up.
Now let me ask you something. Going to that, so I've noticed he's got, I don't know if that's actual Ring or it's a version of a Ring camera.
That's a
So
tapo.
I've been told.
Yeah.
Now you tell me, and I want comments on this. I've been told if they have that, you should hit that button and stand there so they can see you.
Yeah.
Or do you knock the door? Because
Yeah.
friends, what is it saying? Friends knock the door, neighbors or strangers ring the doorbell or something
Yeah.
like that.
I got a neighbor, you just passed me earlier, Ed and Marcia, wonderful people. He watches over my house. He's got a Ring. Now that's not a Ring, that's Tapco. It's a little bit better. It's encrypted, and you know, there's things I can do with it.
Right.
And so half the people push it, like Federal Express or UPS, they'll ring it. Sometimes they don't. It pulls, the camera pulls up and says somebody's here. When you pull in here, you can't come to my property without me knowing you're here. So it rings, If you push it, it rings on the phone and I can answer it and talk to you.
So it shows no matter what if you pull up. It's
Either or.
whether you hit or not. So.
Yeah, either or. Let you
See,
know.
because this particular sales trainer, I love his training. If I could, when I can afford him, I will purchase it.
Yeah.
But one of his things is they've spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
They want to use it.
Yeah.
So use it. So ring it. But if it already tracks you when you why ring it?
Yeah. Listen, it's just layers of security, like having a dog.
Right.
Okay.
No, I love that.
When you hear a row, 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 that burger's not going to want to go around. He's going to go somebody else that doesn't hear the dog, you know?
Right.
And
No.
then they see the Schlage Encode lock. That's a grade 2 lock. It's a heavy duty lock. Okay. They got to get through that. Then they see this on there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So layers and, you know, an alarm system, cameras. I got cameras all around the place. It records. So, and it's monitored. So, you know, it's layers of protection that you do reasonable things. If somebody wants to take, you know, a bazooka from the military surplus and point it at my front door, I'm sure they're going to get in.
Well, I mean from the sales aspect of it.
Yeah.
Do you ring it? Do you ring a doorbell when you knock up to the door? Or do you knock the door?
Yeah, I usually do because
You ring the
I
doorbell.
want that camera to get activated and I want them to see me.
So does Ring not activate when you walk up to it?
Some of them do, some of them don't. Ring you got to be careful with because Ring is it's been known to be able to bypass it from the outside.
I just started ringing it now.
Yeah,
Because
mine
I'm like,
is.
okay, I would want to use it. That's the reason why I got it.
Mine's encrypted and you can't do so easy. The code changes. It's a higher unit, so I'm a big proponent of that one that I have.
I've always wanted it because my daughters could go up to it and I could see them.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I was told. That's what one of my past clients. He works out of state or not out of county, and that's what his kid will do. He'll walk out and say, "Hey, Daddy," and then he can see his kid.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, "That's the cool," and he can talk.
Absolutely.
I'm like, "That's the coolest thing," because I don't want my kids having a cell phone yet.
Yeah.
Kids still too young to have a phone.
Yeah.
But what's a great way for people to get a hold of you?
Okay, they can reach me through this number, 352-270-8166. They can also reach me at Bob at locksmith-Citrus-Florida.com. Or they can take this, they're on my card, they're obviously on my van. That takes you straight to the website, which is, www.locksmith-Citrus-Florida.com.
Awesome. So, guys, I'll see you next time. And like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.